Welcome to this Chaos Control Cloud explainer video for setting up an Amazon integration. If you haven't already watched it, please take a look at our explainer video on setting up stock barcode types and associating them with products. If you have seen that, or you've just been away to watch that, welcome to this explainer video on setting up an Amazon channel. We're going to go through setting up a new channel for Amazon, setting your credentials against that channel, and then showing you how to define your hierarchy for matching your products and setting up your groups for how orders are going to be handled as they're imported. So we're going to go into the channel screen first, and we're going to click on the new channel button. When we do this, we get prompted to say which type of channel we're going to be creating. So Amazon, eBay, or Shopify. So we click OK. We want to give our channel a new name. So Andy's Test Amazon channel. We've got a number of default import options that we need to define. The first is the order ref format. So this allows us to code our order numbers in Chaos Control Cloud relative to the channel that we're playing with. So in this example, I'm going to suffix every order number we generate that imports from our Amazon channel with AZ. It will give me a quick and easy way of identifying them in Chaos Control Cloud. The second option is to set our Amazon channel to use the generic customer option. So this means that every order we import for our Amazon channel will be imported against a single generic Amazon customer. That's important for Amazon because we don't get all the lovely detailed customer information that you'd get from eBay or Shopify. So it's going to make it easier for us to group everything together and handle it in Chaos Control Cloud. The alternative would be to create individual customer records every time, but obviously that data wouldn't be terribly useful because all Amazon do is give you a name and address and very little else to go on. The third option to set is don't import orders. This is a really important option that's enabled by default when you create a new channel like we are here. It controls the initial orders that are brought into Chaos Control Cloud from your channel. It's likely, if you've been processing orders on Amazon already, that you're going to have orders come into Chaos Control Cloud which you've already dispatched in Amazon, or certainly are in the process of dispatching, and so don't want to process for a second time. This option being switched on by default gives you a chance to flag any of those orders up to say, no, ignore those, I'm not going to play with them, so that when you do start communicating with Amazon automatically from Chaos Control Cloud, you're only bringing in orders that you want to process. The fourth option here we need to set is to do with the stock description. So we can either use description that we have set on Amazon for our products, or we can set the description per order line for each product that's been sold based on what we've got defined in Chaos Control Cloud. Just depends really on how consistent your stock descriptions are. Generally, we set this to pull from the channel because obviously that's what the customer's going to expect based on what they've ordered. Last but not least, we've got the order date. So I'm going to leave this as the default. However, if you wanted your order date to be set based on when you've imported orders into Chaos Control Cloud rather than when the orders were placed on the Amazon channel, you'd amend that drop down. The next piece of setup for our Amazon channel is to make sure that our tokenized data for communicating with Amazon for our own instance is configured properly. In terms of making sure we've got all our information together, let's go and make sure that we've got these last three pieces of information, because you've got to generate those yourselves. They're specific to your use of our integration with Amazon. You'll have, I hope, a PDF from us that takes you through setting up channels and has a section on setting up Amazon channels in particular. If you can fire that up while watching this video, that'd be really helpful. So in terms of generating that information, we need to go to our Amazon Developer Services area. There'll be a link in your PDF. It's developer.amazonservices.co.uk. Once we're here, as I am here on this tab, we need to click into sign up for MWS on the right hand side of the screen. So MWS are Amazon's merchant web services. So that's the toolkit that allows technology providers like us to talk to your Amazon marketplace. So we'll click on that and we need to log in. So we want to tick the second radio button, which allows us to authorize a specific application. In this case, that's going to be Chaos Control Cloud. And then we need to paste in the developer account number that we've given you in that PDF. Again, you need to make sure this is the UK one, and if we click on next, we'll then get a prompt to say, are you sure? We say yep, and yes. Click on next, and we get three different pieces of data. So we get the seller ID, marketplace ID, and the MWS authorization token. Now, what I'd strongly suggest at this point is that you either save this image as kind of like a graphic file on your PC and or print the whole thing out, depending on your preference. What I'm going to do here is just print it to PDF so that I've got a copy on our network. So we've got our seller ID and our marketplace ID and our authorization token. In your PDF that we've sent you, you've got the secret key and access key ID that we've given you for your channel. So what we need to do now is make sure that all of that data is keyed in to your Amazon channel. So we'll grab the authorization token, we'll grab the marketplace ID, and we'll grab the seller ID. The last channel-specific option we need to set up is whether we want to use the Amazon SKUs or the ASINs. By default, this goes to be off so that you'll use the ASIN to identify your products when you're importing them. If you want to use the Amazon SKU instead, just turn this option on. Cool. The next thing we need to set up is how our stock items are going to match when we're importing orders into Khaos Control Cloud from Amazon. So the second part of this screen is where we define that. By default, we're going to match on SKU. So in that previous video, we were talking about barcode types. For Amazon, you're going to have ASINs, Amazon SKUs, EANs, all sorts of other things going on as well. So let's configure some of those. So we're still in edit mode. Let's click on new and choose a value. So we'll go barcode code, okay. And we'll go ASIN UK, okay. We'll also set up some default options in terms of fallbacks. So let's have an Amazon SKU UK. And let's set EAN up as well, just to be on the safe side. Okay, so I've got 4 different options here in terms of the hierarchy that my system is going to use when trying to match products from Amazon with products in Khaos Control Cloud on import. I want to mess around with the order here to make sure this is going to work as well as I want it to. So the ASIN is the thing I'm most interested in. So having selected that line, having focused on that line, I'm going to click on my move up button and bump that up the list. My SKU is a nice fallback, so I'll leave that a second, and I'm going to bump my EAN up the list as well. So my Amazon SKU for UK is going to be a last port of call. Cool. The third setup thing we need to do for our Amazon channel is to set up our specific group values. So these specific group values allow us to define default behavior for different levels of service that we're offering in Amazon. All of your channels need these group values to be defined. Amazon's probably the most complex in terms of the number of different specific groups you can set up. Shopify is probably the easiest. So Amazon, we're going to have a look now at the fact that we've got our global values set up. And you can see, as we mentioned in that PDF you've got a copy of, there are 4 default values that you need to have configured. So the site that orders are going to be imported into when they come from Amazon, the company class, the default courier. So against the default courier, we'd need to set a value. So for the site, main site, we're going to leave that as is. Classification, we're going to leave as business. Courier, we need to define for any normal order that comes in from Amazon. So if we click on the lookup, we can then pick a courier service for those orders to use. And then we can also define a sales source. So if we click on the lookup, and we'll say Amazon and click OK. Now we can also add a whole range of other default group values, including things like bank account, invoice priority, and other values. So bank account can be really useful if we want to make sure that our Amazon payments go into a different bank account to our normal payments so that we can reconcile them more easily. Invoice priority is going to allow us to specify the behavior and flag up in the invoice manager whether an Amazon invoice needs to be handled slightly differently or not. So for instance, we're going to say all these Amazon invoices need to be handled as fast track. And we build that list of channel specific values up as far as we need to. Now the global settings are there as a bare minimum, and you can see we've got 6 settings defined. Against each of these other groups, you need to go through and define your different values. So that might be as simple as when you've sold something in that standard group set on Amazon, you want to set a different courier. So we click on the group value on the left. On our right-hand grid, we click on new, and we're going to define a different courier. Click on that and look up, and we'll pick parcel force. So somebody buys standard, it's going to go via that, and we'll set a different invoice priority as well, and we'll also set a key code. Okay, and then we'd work our way down the grid in similar fashion. So for our prime orders, and we'd also want to make sure that we've got an invoice priority set, which means those orders are going to be handled appropriately. Because obviously prime isn't something you want to mess around with in terms of what customers expect to receive. We've defined our header data. We've defined our accreditation information in terms of linking up to our specific Amazon account. All of our hierarchy of matching with regards to barcode types and stock codes, etc. And then we've defined our specific group values. Once all that's done, we hit Save Channel. Okay, so the order ref format's different to what we've already got in the database. In that instance, I'm happy with that, so I'm going to say yes and continue. Channel was saved successfully. Jobs are good. So do check out our other videos on setting up eBay and Shopify channels, and also our video on channel maintenance. So using the orders, tasks, and notifications tabs in order to stay on top of your channel orders and get the most out of your integration. Thank you.